Well, Happy New Year to you all. It's July 1. We passed the halfway mark for the Property Games Kids, an amazing milestone. When you look at it, we had 9 months to make this whole thing spin, and both Dipner and I have had some very intense times with our 7 contestants. So let's talk a little bit about where they've come from and where they're going. As I said before, welcome to sunny Melbourne. It's a gentle 7 degrees or minus here today. So for those of you in the more warmer climates, I miss you so much. So anyway, let's get going. So let's go back in time. We landed in Coran Cove about halfway mark, as I said before, about 20 weeks ago. And as a result of that, these kids have settled in. They developed, as we thought they would, island fever. And one by one, if not in a group, they managed to leave the island. And now they found their own digs in various places, from share rooms to you name it. So they're all over the place. And some of them have since got jobs that are just getting them through to keep them earning money as they go along. And generally speaking, they're well and truly settled. Had a lot of time with Lisa to get over those things that set people back. Because, you know, the biggest problem in real estate is finding a deal. That's it, in a nutshell, just finding a deal. And these kids are no different. And as a result of that, these kids have gone through that whole process in accelerated time frame of, wow, I've got all these teachings and all of these learnings and all of these mentors, but at the same time, I can't find a deal. And so from that point of view, no matter how much education you've got, no matter how much teaching you've got, at the end of the day, it still comes down to that fear, will I ever find one? And these kids have done that. One by one, they're finding deals. Let's look at Brooke, for instance. Brooke has found a deal in regional areas, and she's managed to pay $28,000 for a railway carriage. Oh, sorry, not a railway carriage, a railway cottage, I should say. Doesn't have a shower. She needs to bring 2 bathrooms from Bunnings. She's going to spend quite a bit of money on it, about $40,000, which will bring her up to about $70,000, and then she's going to sell it for about $150,000. Now, Brooke's like typical of our Property Games kids. She's got no money. So she's got a joint venture partner, and she's soon to get on the bus and take her kitchens and bathrooms and all that skill set that she's learned and hoof it up to her regional area to renovate that home. So that's Brooke out of the way. We then look at Ted. Ted managed to find a unit in Brisbane, very close to St Lucia, which is a pretty good area. And as a result of that, he started renovation before settlement. When we say renovation, let's call it tidying up. Lots of plaster work, lots of patchwork, things of that nature. And so Ted's well and truly underway with his particular unit. And so when you look at Ted's process, finding that unit, finding that deal was again the hardest part that Ted had to go through. And you know, to find a unit at $215,000, and he's converting it from 2-bedroom to 3-bedroom, moving walls all over the place, but Ted's got that skill set. He's a chippy, knows his stuff. So that's Ted. Our Barris, he's wandered off to Wollongong in New South Wales to a deal that he's been working on for some time, and I can't tell you much about that one at the moment. It's still pretty well in train. Young Kirsten and Chanel have had 6 deals that have come and gone through no fault of their own. Simple things like discharge, you know, sewage discharge, water discharge, compliance issues, council issues, so many things that have happened to those two. They've teamed up to find a big deal, whole deal crashed. They made a bid of $1.2 million on a deal that ended up meaning the vendor just wanted a valuation, and that happens sometimes. You never know what's going to happen with vendors. And in this case, it went to $1.6 million, so $400,000 out on that one. But that hasn't put them off. They're still out there every single day, combing the streets, writing letters, finding deals. So I'm pretty sure that they'll be fine. Then we've got Liam. Now Liam, as you know through the various videos, had a real bit of a meltdown problem there at one stage, but he's up and running. Even got a haircut. Totally new look, Liam. Really kicking it. So Liam has found the most unusual deal that I've ever experienced, because I've always talked about 1 into 2, 1 into 3, but he's actually doing a 2 and into 1, because what he's done is found 2 houses side by side on a corner allotment, and then he's taking the back of the block off from the corner to create another block by amalgamating those 2 back into that 1 title to create then 3 titles, allowing him then to sell these 2 houses in the inner city area that he's located them, and managed to put the deal together. Now that one was really curly, because young Liam found this house, but at the same time a builder before him negotiated on the house next door. So it became a waiting game because the builder's time frame ran out a week before Liam's, so Liam had to outwait him so he could then get a contract on the block when the other guy would hopefully let it go. And that's exactly what happened. So in that last week he swooped on the second block, was able to get that, and now he's moving into unconditional status any day now. So that's Liam, well and truly settling in very, very nicely. So when we rattle through them all, we talked about Kirsten, we've talked about Chanel, we've talked about Ted, we've talked about Brooke, we've talked about Liam, and we've talked about Barris. So pretty well, who have I left out there? I've left out Becca. Now, why have I left out Becca? Because Becca has had so many incredible runs at things that I'd literally forgotten some of the deals that she's actually looked at. Becca lost a lot of time on one in particular, amalgamating close in Torres Street in Logan home. It was a really great deal, but at the end of the day, there was nothing wrong with it, but Becca had literally landed a rhinoceros. It was huge. It was about $1 million to buy it, lots of development opportunities. We were going to do some very interesting townhouses based on the Painted Ladies from San Francisco, which are very funky, very arty, and it was workable. Everything was right about it, except it was just too big. And so for Becca, we spoke to her and said, Beck, how do you feel about this one? She said, a little bit uneasy. And I said, frankly, I don't blame you. You've come into a high-level development here. And wow, let's start again. So Beck then stopped. We moved her back into some other areas. And now she's focusing more in the north side of the Brisbane regions, where she's really finding some great deals there. So as I said before, the biggest single problem is in finding a deal. Why? Because it's about making decisions. It's okay to get into a deal, and then it's okay to get out of it. You know, you've got lots of opportunities to get into it, subject to due diligence, lots of opportunities to get out of it, didn't get finance, didn't work, subject to counsel, subject to a number of things. But so many people don't get into deals because they try to make the whole thing work before they even contract to buy it. The whole secret of this is not the motivation to buy them. The motivation is to make decisions. And it's one decision, get it wrong, fix it, get it wrong, fix it, get it wrong, fix it, and just keep working through the mistakes that happen in property until you can finally get to the deal and say, that's about as tidy as I can make it. Let's bring that one home. So when you look at it, these kids in the last, say, 4 months or so, or 20 weeks as I think it is, have had an incredible amount of mind shift. They've done our Compelling Life program, they've done Dipner's boot camps, they're yet to do mine in September, but basically they've pretty well exposed themselves to the people in property, not only in Australia, but worldwide. They've had people from England, they've had people from Singapore, they've had LJ Hooker himself, a guy called Grenville Turner from England, who's all about money, because I always say to my people, it's not about the money, it's about the money. And fundamentally, all of those lessons are so ingrained in them that just challenge yourself if you get a chance to meet them to just understand the incredible growth that they've had in this incredible short time frame. And growth comes from confidence, and they've got tons of that. And when you see them at the end of this journey, you are just going to be so blown away, as I have been every single day of my experience with them. So from me, from Dipner, from all the people that have been so helpful on this course so far, we say thank you, thanks for watching, hang in there, lots more exciting things to happen. Goodbye from me.